the story actually starts with a woman named Anjane. Right? Have you heard of Anjane Asana?
Yes.
So Anjane was Hanuman's mother, and Anjane actually started out, she was, they're called Apsaras, and Apsara is like a water sprite, a goddess of the clouds and the waters, almost like a nymph. And Anjane was very, very beautiful and very attached to her beauty and loved how beautiful she was. And one day she was walking through the forest and she came upon a monkey. The monkey was sitting just like this and he was meditating under a tree. And she pointed at him and she laughed so hard because it's kind of ridiculous, right, to see a monkey meditating. And she's laughing and going, look at this silly monkey. Well, it turns out it wasn't a monkey at all. It was actually a really powerful sage who just didn't want to be bothered while he was meditating. So he took the form of a monkey and sat under this tree. And he was really angry at being disturbed from his meditation and really angry at being insulted and pointed at. And so he cursed Anjane. He said, you are going to turn into a monkey the moment you fall in love. Oh, that would be so devastating, right? For someone, especially someone who's so attached to their beauty, their outer beauty. And so she's crying and she's weeping, no, you can't do this to me. And she runs to Brahma. Brahma is the great creator, the one with the long white beard. And she says, Brahma, you've got to fix this, please, please, please. I didn't mean it. He just looks so silly. He was this cute little monkey. How could I not laugh? And Brahma feels bad for her and he says, okay, well, you know as well as I do that what's been done cannot be undone. That's just the way of things. But maybe I can soften it a little bit. Maybe I can give you some relief from this curse. Here's what I can do. When you give birth, you'll give birth to an incarnation of Shiva. And at that moment, you'll be relieved from your curse and you can go back up to your heavenly abode where you want to be. So she's okay with that. She's not super happy, but she's like, I'll take it. It's the best I can get. And so she goes back to her life and she's walking through the forest one day and off in the distance, she sees a man. And he looks so big and so strong and he's chopping wood and her heart starts to flutter and she thinks, oh, I hope he looks at me. I hope he turns around and sees that I'm here and pays some attention to me. And he does. In that moment, he does. And as soon as he sees her, you know what happens. She turns into a monkey. She's devastated. She feels it happening. She touches her face. Oh my God, no! She falls to the ground and covers her face and her arms and she's weeping. And the man comes over and he says, oh, beautiful woman, come up, let me see you. And she says, no, you can't see me. No one can ever see me ever again. I'm hideous. You would never love me if you saw me. And he pleads. And his voice is so sweet and so soft and gentle that finally she does. She releases her arms from her face and she looks up. And what does she see? But a beautiful monkey man. His name is Kishari. He says, I'm Kishari and I'm the king of the monkey race. So the monkey race, they're these kind of, they're not quite gods and they're not quite men. They're in between and they have the bodies of really strong men. They're like 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall and gorgeous and monkey faces. And so Anjane and Kishari fall in love and they begin to live together and pretty soon Anjane says, I want to have a baby. And so she's praying to have a baby, and she goes to the forest one day and she takes a little water in her hands and she makes a little altar to Shiva and she's praying to have a baby. She's asking Shiva, please, I want to have a baby, I want a son. Well, it just so happens that in that moment, way off on the other side of the country, Shiva and Parvati were making love. And when Shiva and Parvati make love, it's really hot. It's not like normal people making love. It's so hot that the seed of their union would burn the whole world. And so they're crazy for each other. And so they make love for not even like a minute or an hour. It's like 1,000 years nonstop. So they're doing this. And it's so hot and so powerful that the seed that comes out of Shiva, it's going to burn everything if it touches the world. So just at that moment, Vayu, who is the god of the wind, he happens to be passing by and he catches that seed. And he takes it with him through the air to dissipate its power so it's not quite so hot. And as he's floating over the forest, he sees Anjane. And even though she's a monkey, he thinks that she is just the most beautiful thing ever. And he's a little mischievous, so he goes into the clearing where she is and he ruffles her skirts with his wind and her skirts fly up. And in that moment, she is pregnant with the incarnation of Shiva. And so she has this baby. She's so happy, and her husband Kishari is so happy that they're having a son. The baby comes out, and it's Hanuman. It's this sweet little part monkey, part divine being. And now that she's had the baby, this incarnation of Shiva, she's relieved of her curse. And she can go back home to the abodes of the gods and the goddesses. And Hanuman's sad, right? As he doesn't want his mother to leave. And she says, you'll be fine. You have your father. Your father is strong. He'll protect you from anything. And you're protected by Vayu, the god of the wind. He'll always be there when you need him. You'll have everything you could ever want, everything your heart desires. Anytime you're hungry, you'll have the reddest, ripest fruits at your ready, anything you need. And so Hanuman says, okay, Mom. Kisses her goodbye. She floats back up off into the realm of the clouds and the water sprites. And Hanuman now is this fun little mischievous baby, and he's raised by his father Kishari. And one day Kishari goes inside. He says to Hanuman, I'm going to go make you some lunch. You stay out here and you play. And Hanuman's playing in the dirt and the mud. And Kishari goes inside, but Hanuman is starving. Hanuman's not just hungry. Hanuman is ravenously hungry, and he's looking around for something that he can eat. And he looks up, and what does he see? The sun. And the sun looks like the reddest, ripest, juiciest mango. The best mango he's ever seen. And he thinks, I should have that mango. He remembers the words of his mother, right? Anytime you're hungry, the reddest, ripest fruit will always be there for you. And so Hanuman doesn't know how powerful he is, but he's the son of the wind. And so he can leap. He can leap way up into the air. He can leap thousands of miles with one leap. And so he leaps up into the sky. He goes to take a big bite out of the sun. He's about to chomp down on that sun when Indra sees him. Indra is the god of the weather. He's kind of like the one who keeps everything organized up there. He's in charge of all the gods. And he sees what's happening and thinks, oh no, if we don't have the sun, this is going to be terrible, right? The crops won't grow. Nobody will have any life. Without the sun, we're nothing. And so he takes one of his weapons. His weapon is a thunderbolt. And he hurls his thunderbolt at this little monkey boy. And it strikes him right in the jaw. So Hanuman, it means broken jaw. That's where he got his name. So the thunderbolt strikes Hanuman in the jaw, and Hanuman falls. He falls all the way down to earth, where he collapses in a heap, and it looks as if he's dead. And now here comes Vayu, the god of the wind, and Vayu's devastated. Vayu says, no, he's my son. And he scoops up Hanuman, and he takes Hanuman, and he goes down, 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 all the way into the center of the earth, where there's a cave, and he hides in that cave with Hanuman. But he's angry, and he takes all of the wind with him. So now back on earth and up in the abode of the gods, there's no wind. There's no breath. So they're all, and there's no wind. They can't grow any crops. There's no wind. The waters aren't moving. Nothing is happening without the wind. You need the wind. And so all the gods and goddesses, they go down into this cave where Vayu is holding Hanuman. And they say, please, you've got to give us back the wind. We can't breathe. Everyone's dying. And Vayu says, no, sorry. You hurt my child. I'm not giving you anything. Finally come to an agreement. All the gods say, okay, how about this? How about we give your son all of our special powers? Every city that you can imagine. You get deep into the Yoga Sutras and you find out about the cities, all these magical things that you can do, like become as big as a mountain or as tiny as a little cat, become super, super heavy and weighty, or become totally, completely weightless, all these things that he can do. So they give him all these magical powers. They say, but here's the catch though. Okay, this being, if he knew how powerful he was, would be out of control. You know, if we really knew how strong we were, how much power we actually had, it would be dangerous if we don't use it the right way. And so they say, your son, he's got all these powers, but he cannot remember them. He will only remember them when Vishnu incarnates as Ram, and he uses them in service to Ram. And so Hanuman now goes about thinking he's just a stupid monkey. He would say that all the time. Oh, no, I'm just a dumb monkey. Don't mind me, I'm just a stupid monkey. But meanwhile, inside, he's got all these magical powers. And so time goes by, Hanuman grows up, he's now older, and he's in the forest one day, and here comes Ram. And this is a giant story of its own, but Ram has been exiled. Ram is now living in the forest with his brother Lakshman and his beloved Sita, but Sita was kidnapped by a demon king named Ravana. Ravana is the 10-headed demon king, and so Ravana abducts Sita, takes her in his chariot, and flies her across the ocean to his kingdom, which is in the Isle of Lanka. And as she's flying, right, she's dropping bits of her jewelry so that hopefully Ram can find her. And so Ram and Lakshman are looking all through the forest calling out, Sita, Sita, and they come upon this monkey. And this monkey kneels down, brings his hand into prayer, and he says, Ram, I am here to serve you. My sole purpose in this life is to offer my help to you. And so they become best friends, more than best friends, just absolutely adore each other with every cell in their body. They love each other so much. And so they're walking all through the forest to try to find Sita, and they're finding little bits of jewelry, little signs here and there. And they trace the signs all the way down to the very bottom tip of India, where they realize that she's been abducted and taken to Lanka. And so they say to Hanuman, you've got to go find her. And Hanuman says, well, I'm just a stupid monkey. I can't do that. What do you think I am? She's all the way over there. That's thousands of miles. I can't go there. And they say, no, Hanuman, you've got the power. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, right? You've had the power all along. So they say, you've got to do it. You've got to just take the leap. And I love this that in some stories he does. So he kneels by the ocean, and there's so many poses that are related to this story, right? This one is when he kneels down. You see this one? Right, so this is a version of Hanuman's pose, and he kneels, and in some stories he gets the courage up to go, and in other stories his best friend comes behind him and goes and he has no choice but to go fly, right? Sometimes we need our friends to just be like, come on, you can do this. And so Hanuman leaps across the ocean, and on the way there's all kinds of obstacles, things to tempt him from his journey. He wants to get from here to there, right? We all have this idea, like I'm going from point A to point B. I'm in yoga school, it's going to happen like this, and this is where I'm going to end up. And then along the way, right, there's all these obstacles and all these things that happen. Like one of the obstacles is a hill, the comfiest, sweetest hill. And she says, oh, you must be tired. Come rest on me, right? But she's actually a demon. Come rest. You can stay here as long as you like. You don't have to go anywhere. That's too hard. Don't keep flying. Just come and sit on me. Right? He says, no, I must go on. And so he keeps flying, and he finally gets to Lanka, where he finds Sita sitting under a tree, and he presents Sita with Ram's ring, because she doesn't know Hanuman. She's, who is this monkey guy? But when she sees Ram's ring, she says, oh, okay, good. He's coming to get me. And so Hanuman goes back. First he burns down all of Ravana's kingdom with his tail. They catch him. Right? Ravana's guys catch Hanuman, and he doesn't even know that he can do this, though. They light his tail on fire, and then with his magic powers, he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until he's got this giant flaming tail that lights everything on fire. He puts his tail out in the ocean, gets small again, flies back to Ram, tells Ram and his whole army where Sita is, and so now they've got to go and find Sita. And so they build a bridge. They say that if you look, you can Google this, aerial photos, the water between India and Sri Lanka, underneath are the remnants of a very ancient bridge. So they build this bridge. Hanuman and all of his monkey friends and all the bears, all the animals are helping. It's like a Disney movie. Everybody comes and they're all helping, and they're taking these huge blocks, huge stones, and putting them in the water, one and then the other. The monkeys, they're super strong. And so as Hanuman's doing this, he's in the water, placing one block at a time on top. And every time he places a block down, a little tiny crab comes up from the bottom of the ocean, lands on the block, and goes like this. And it's happening again and again. And then the crab jumps back in the water. And Hanuman gets another stone and puts it down. And the little crab gets on, shakes himself out, and then goes back into the water. And this goes on. And finally Hanuman says, little crab, what are you doing? And the little crab says, well, I want to help too. I'm not big enough to lift a heavy stone, but what I can do is I can go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. I can cover myself with sand, and I can come up and I can shake it out on the stone so that when Ram goes across, it's soft for his delicate lotus feet. But we all do what we can. And so they finally build a bridge, and they get across. And so Hanuman represents this bridge. This bridge, the breath is like this bridge, where Ram is our sort of our dharma, right? Our outward life, how we are in the world, and Sita represents the inner experience. And Hanuman is the bridge between the two, right? And how do we do that? Because we've got this physical body, right? And then we've got this deep inner experience that's happening, and we've got to find some way to bridge them. And we bridge them through pranayama. We bridge them through the breath. And so Hanuman builds this bridge. They go, and of course they save Sita. All kinds of other magical things happen. In the battle, Ram's little brother Lakshman is shot with a poison arrow. And they say to Hanuman, you've got to go find the magical herb that's going to help him. You've got to save him, and you've got to do it before sunrise. If you don't do it before sunrise, Lakshman is going to die. Well, Hanuman, again, says, just a stupid monkey, even though by now he kind of knows he's not just a stupid monkey, but that's kind of his mantra. You know, we all have our mantras, like, oh, no, not me. So Hanuman says, no, I can't do it. And they say, just go. And he goes, he starts to fly. He gets to the mountains, doesn't know which herb it is, and so he thinks, well, I'll just take the whole thing. Picks up the whole mountain. I'm sure you've seen that image, right? It's so beautiful, iconic image of Hanuman flying with this mountain in his hand. And then he thinks, wait, but I have to get there before the sun rises. So he goes and he finds the sun and tucks it under one of his arms so that it can't rise until he gets there, right? He'll do anything. He'll take the sun, he'll do anything. He'll move mountains for the one he loves. He delivers the mountains, they find the herb, they save Lakshman. At the end, they have a great big party for Hanuman, and everyone's saying, Jai Hanuman, you saved the day. Sita takes off her necklace. She has a necklace full of precious gems and jewels, emeralds, rubies, diamonds, everything. And she gives it to Hanuman and says, I want you to have this. And Hanuman's looking. Now, there's tons of people at the party. Everyone's watching and kind of jealous, like, oh, Sita gave him her precious necklace. Oh, my goodness. And Hanuman holds the necklace, and then he starts to bite it. And he's biting the necklace, and he's looking at it every which way, and people start to laugh at him. They start to point, kind of just like Anjane did at the monkey in the very beginning. She's pointing and laughing, and they're all going, oh, he really is a stupid monkey after all. They say, Hanuman, what are you doing? This is precious. Why would you destroy this precious thing that Sita gave you? And he says, well, it's only precious if Ram and Sita are inside. And they say, well, Ram and Sita are not inside you. Does that make you not precious? And he takes his hands to his heart and opens up his chest. And there, right inside his heart, are Ram and Sita. And written on every bone of his body, Ram, 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 Ram. Every cell, every muscle fiber says Ram, 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 Ram. So they realize Hanuman is precious after all. So beautiful, isn't it? So the son of the wind, Pavanaputra, he's the one who connects us to the deeper inner landscape through the breath. He's the bridge. So take a few moments, just close your eyes. And find that bridge again. Find that connection between the outer and the inner. Okay. In yoga, we have 5 bodies, right? The koshas, the outermost one being the Annamaya kosha, the food body. It's like what you eat and what makes this physical body. But all the way inside, the deepest one is the Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body. And how do you get there? How do you pierce through all those layers to get to that bliss? You get there through the breath. So let your breath start to deepen. Imagine it piercing through all those layers. Mantra to Vayu and to Hanuman. So the mantra to Vayu is Om Vayuve Namaha Om. To Hanuman we'll sing Om Hanumanji Namaha Om. So call and response. I'll sing a line and you sing it back to me. Om Vayu Namaha your thumb and fold in your index finger and bring your thumb way up high by the top knuckle of your index finger, and then straighten your other 3 fingers out. So it's not Jnana Mudra, but it's much more folded in. And then you can bring those to your knees. And this is Vayu Mudra. It's a really good one for right now. Right? It's really windy. Did you notice that today? So Vata season. Have you gotten to some Ayurveda yet? No? Well, Vata season is the windy season. And maybe you've noticed you're a little more scattered. Like you feel the wind in your mind kind of pick up a little bit. That's what happens in the fall. The wind picks up, the leaves start to blow around. It's an exciting time. It's a time where you might feel like you get lots of ideas and you're like, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, right? You kind of feel like that happening. But it's also a time when if you're not careful about really grounding yourself, those ideas can just keep blowing around and making things very complicated. So Vayu Mudra is a really nice one. It balances the wind element in the body, and so especially if you're the type of person who has an extra windy mind. If you forget things a lot, right? You're always like, where did I put my keys? You're looking for your phone when it's in your hand, like those kind of moments. This one really helps you to kind of center yourself. It's sweet, it's calming. And, so it can decrease the wind element if you tend to be very windy. And people who have a lot of that wind element tend to be prone to things like joint pain, arthritis, kind of dry skin. All those things. Feels windy, doesn't it? Like wind dries out your skin, the wind makes you feel kind of creaky. So if you have those kind of things, if you're prone to those kind of things, Vayu Mudra is really helpful for that. So let your eyes close again and your spine straighten up tall, like a mighty mountain peak. And just take a few moments and feel how the mudra affects your mind and your body. They're really powerful, these hand gestures. To calm, to soothe the wind element of the body. To soothe the mind. And help you come back to earth when you feel like you're floating away. Or also, perhaps to think of it when you need a bridge. Right? As we talked about Hanuman and the idea of the breath being the bridge between the outer experience and the deeper inner world. This can help you bridge that space. Vayu Mudra. Take one more deep breath in. Open your mouth.